I'm trying to platinum and 100% every game in the Far Cry series. In the last video, I platinumed and 100%ed Far Cry 5, meaning next up is... Far Cry New Dawn released in February 2019 on all major platforms and was developed by Ubisoft Montreal, Kyiv, and Shanghai. It is set 17 years after the climactic ending of Far Cry 5, still in Hope County, but now with a post-apocalyptic flair. In terms of trophies, there are 51 to collect, including the Platinum, with no DLC this time around. The guide gives the game a 3 out of 10 difficulty and takes around 20 hours to complete. Of course, just like the other Far Cry games, I also decided to go for the in-game 100% by fully completing every objective listed on the map. This includes completing all side activities, finding all collectibles, looting all 101 locations, and finishing every single challenge. So with all that info out of the way, let's begin the New Dawn journey. To kick things off, just like Far Cry 5, we are able to select our body type and the difficulty of the game. We then get a cinematic reintroducing us to the world of Hope County, which is narrated by Carmina Rye, who is actually the baby we helped deliver in one of these side quests in Far Cry 5. And she explains that she was born the day the world collapsed, and pretty much majority of Hope County had to survive in bunkers for the next 6 years due to the nuclear fallout. Following that 6-year period, everyone reappears from the bunkers and starts to rebuild what is left of Hope County. And eventually the home base of Prosperity is built. However, the peace does not last as a new faction from the east called the Highwaymen arrive, led by the twins, and they terrorize Hope County, stealing all their resources and burning their homes to the ground. And in need of a miracle, the people learn of the name Thomas Rush, who is trying to rebuild America. And he just so happens to be traveling on a train right through Hope County, so Carmina was sent to talk to Rush to try and convince him to help them take back their homes from the Highwaymen. Of course, things go horribly wrong, and this is where the game begins, as the Highwaymen ambush the train, causing it to crash. And here we take control of our character called the Captain, who is the second in command to Thomas Rush. And so we regroup with him after the train has crashed, and here he gives us our first weapon of the game, the Railroad Spike, which is what we can use to get stealth takedowns on enemies. And so of course this first part of the game acts as a tutorial as we are introduced to the basics of Far Cry. At this point in the series though, I'm pretty much an expert.
I said I played these games before!
So I was able to breeze my way through this area. Eventually though, we are cornered at the edge of a cliff, with the twins and the Highwaymen arriving to confront us. And this scene tries to show us how tough and violent the twins are, like past Far Cry villains, but honestly they're a little goofy.
Pops taught us what to do with problem makers.
Problem makers need to be solved.
Are you all problem solvers or problem makers?
Despite waffling on about problem solvers and problem makers, they do still show how intimidating they can be.
Go fuck yourself.
Okay.
Oh my god. Luckily, before we're the next ones to go, Thomas Rush is able to save us. Oh my god. Every Far Cry game starts off the same. Getting saved from water. And so yes, we are indeed saved by Carmina Rye herself. She informs us that Rush was taken by the Highwaymen, so instead we are now going to head back to Prosperity to meet Kim Rye. And so this area acts as another sort of extended tutorial, and wow, can I just say they really outdid themselves with the visuals in this game. Okay, this game looks really nice. This game looks beautiful. The only bad thing was that the game was running in 30 FPS, which felt really weird after playing 60 FPS in Far Cry 5. But later in the video, something crazy actually happened, which I'll explain once we get to that. But for now, I was introduced to the crafting system in this game, which is how you unlock new weapons, and you need to scavenge for materials in order to do this. I was then able to craft the Saw Launcher, which is a new weapon added in this game, and it is kind of overpowered. It literally ricochets off enemies to hit other enemies, so you can take out multiple enemies in one shot. And so using this amazing new weapon, I cleared the way of enemies to reach a tunnel which would take us back to Hope County. And also unlock the first trophy of the game. What's the meaning of prosperity. Help Carmina get back to her mother in prosperity. A few hours later.
Come on, we're almost there.
Here it is, there she is. Hope County.
There it is.
That's literally what I said. There it is, Hope County. That's cool. And in the next scene, we see Carmina reunite with her mother, Kim, who is obviously in Far Cry 5 as well. And this leads into part 1 of the game, Prosperity. And so essentially Kim is the leader of Prosperity, and so she comes up with a game plan to rescue other nearby survivors, bring them back to Prosperity, and improve the community so we can take on the Highwaymen. And so now I was finally able to start exploring the open world, where I came across my first side quest, which was the first lot of collectibles. And these were the photograph locations where you have to match up old photos of Hope County with what they look like now in the post-apocalyptic world. There is of course a trophy for collecting all 9 of these, but we would worry about this later. For now, I started up the next main quest, where I was able to customize my character. And just like Far Cry 5, this is really pointless because you rarely ever see your character in third person, so wearing different clothes does not change much. So I didn't waste too much time customizing my character before I moved on to talking to Kim, who gives us the next objectives in the game. And this involves improving Prosperity and its facilities, which includes liberating Highwaymen outposts, recruiting specialists, and finally saving Thomas Rush. And so because Bean was the closest specialist, I decided to head to him first. But before leaving to recruit Bean, I did have a look at if I could craft any more weapons, and here I found out about the tier system. So essentially they turned Far Cry into an RPG, as there are now different ranks for weapons and enemies, meaning you have to constantly be updating your loadout to make sure you can keep up with the enemies that continue to get stronger throughout the game. I of course couldn't craft anything because I hadn't actually done anything yet, but I did have a few rewards from Ubisoft Club, so I was able to get a head start on the game by using some rank 2 weapons. I then headed off to recruit Bean, and it turns out that Bean is the guy to go to for maps and intel. Unfortunately though, all his documents and information were stolen by someone, so we have to track them down. However, after talking to Bean, I noticed that a supply drop was falling from the sky, which is a random event that can occur in the open world, and there is actually a trophy for looting my first supply drop, so I decided to go for it. But for some reason, it decided to spawn right next to the radiation zone, aka the boundary to the map, meaning I couldn't actually loot it. This chick's in the radiation zone. What do you mean turn back now? I need to go get the supply drop. I need to get the supply drop game. Are you kidding? I just can't get the supply drop because it's in the radiation zone? Well, that's stupid as hell. So, unfortunately, I was going to have to go for that trophy at another time. For now, though, I could complete Bean's quest. All I had to do was chase down one of Bean's former employees who had taken all his business plans, who is a gambling addict, and that is why he has no clothes on, because he gambled his clothes with the Highwaymen. Lucky for us, he hadn't gambled away Bean's business plan yet, and instead had them stashed in a nearby bunker, so we were able to retrieve it. Then all I had to do was return them to Bean himself, who is now able to head back to Prosperity and start up his Wikibania business, which is where we would buy all our maps and intel from. For now though, I did get myself a trophy. Let's go, losing streak completed. Wikibania in business. Help Bean get back his business plan so he can set up his intel network in Prosperity. Hell yeah. Straight after that, I also found the other type of collectible in this game, the music players. And if I found all 10 of these, I would get myself another trophy, but of course we would leave this for later. I also was able to unlock my first perk, which the perk system acts the exact same as it does in Far Cry 5, where you get perks from completing treasure hunts, or by completing in-game challenges. And of course, these perks pretty much act as a skill tree. And there were a couple trophies relating to the perk system, but we'd get back to those later. And at this point, I realized just what I would need to do for the in-game 100%, and the two most daunting things were looting all 101 locations and completing all 105 challenges, so I knew I had to get started on them sooner rather than later. None of the in-game challenges were really that hard, it's just some of them were a bit grindy, and it would be better if I started them soon. For example, I had to get a certain amount of kills with each type of weapon at each different rarity, and I didn't want to save all these challenges for later in the game. I wanted to try and get them done as I was playing through the game. This was the same for the locations looted as well. Every time I found a new location, I made sure to completely loot it so I wouldn't have to go back there later on. And looting the locations wasn't hard, it was just time consuming trying to find all the resources that were available at each location. Anyway, with that information in the back of my mind, I continued on where I liberated my first outpost of the game. And once again, there are a few trophies tied to outposts, but we would get back to these later. For now, I headed up to where John Seed's old bunker used to be, and here we meet Selene. Yes, I know her name is spelt Celine, but she literally says herself that the way you say it is Selene.
This is Selene. Like
Selene? Why is it Selene? It's Celine, is it not? I guess they were just trying to be different here, but anyway, Selene here is essentially the medic in this game, so we must recruit her to bring her back to Prosperity so she becomes the community's doctor. Unfortunately though, she dropped her medicine kit into the silo. And so in order to retrieve it, we actually have to dive down into the water and then figure out a way to increase the water level to eventually float up to grab the med kit. And whilst I was down here exploring the bunker and figuring out the puzzles to flood the place, I ended up getting another trophy. Come on, crack these logs. Oh, safekeeping. Pick lock 5 safes. With no more banks, it's the closest thing you'll get to experiencing a heist. Okay, sweet, I didn't even know that was a trophy. I'll take it though. Eventually, I completely flooded the silo and I was able to grab Selene's field kit. And upon returning it to her, I of course got another trophy. Is that a trophy? Deep dive. Yes, coming up with the goods. Return Selene's valuable stash. Selene. Why is it not Celine? Why is it Selene? Okay. Following that, I went on to complete a side quest called Man Eat Dog World, and this would unlock me a new character on my roster, which is very similar to the roster used in Far Cry 5, where you are able to call in a gun or fang for hire who will help you out in combat. Up until this point, I had Carmina Rye from the story, but for completing this quest, I unlocked the dog Timber, who was my first fang for hire. And surprisingly, Timber actually has a trophy tied to him, because they actually added the ability for the dog to jump into a vehicle with you. And the trophy requires you to drive around for 5 minutes with Timber in the new motorbike vehicle, the Sidecar. And so I decided that whilst I was exploring the world, I would try and get this trophy done, by making sure that Timber was always riding shotgun with me. But I actually got a few different trophies before getting that one. For example, I ended up completing my 3rd treasure hunt, which acts the exact same as the prepper stashes in Far Cry 5, where you normally have to solve some sort of puzzle to unlock your way into a secret stash which contains perk points and crafting materials. Riddle me fish. Finders keepers. Complete 3 treasure hunt missions. Let's go. Following that, I came across another type of random event, which is the ethanol tanker. You can either destroy these to stop the highwaymen, or you can actually hijack it and take it back to one of your bases, rewarding you with ethanol, a type of material you need to upgrade Prosperity. And of course, for returning this, it got me a trophy. Does this count as delivering it? Yes, it does too. White gold. Commandeer an ethanol tanker and bring it back to one of your outposts. Let's go. Don't mind that it's on fire or anything. And because I was back at an outpost, I decided to look at the workbench to try and craft a new weapon so I could continue to keep getting the weapon challenges done. And as you can probably guess, this got me another trophy. Oh, weaponsmith. Craft 3 weapons. They don't need to look good, they just need to get the job done. That is exactly right. An old wood bat, so I guess I crafted these 3 things. And the trophies continued to keep on rolling in as I ended up speaking to enough of Wikibinia's scouts. These scouts act the exact same way as some of the characters in Far Cry 5, where if you speak to them they will tell you where you can find certain side activities on the map. And so every time I saw one of these scouts I would make sure to talk to them because that's the logical thing to do so you don't miss out on anything. And this worked out in the end, as not only was I gaining valuable information, but I also ended up getting a trophy for it.
She set up a shooting range over that way. If you manage to impress her, she might help you out.
Honorary Scout. Gather intel 10 times by talking to Wikibinia Scouts. And finally, after all that, I got the trophy for riding around with Timber. Oh, whoa. Sidecar sidekick. Drive with Timber for a total of 5 minutes. Just don't take him to the vet. I knew I was going for that trophy obviously, but that felt pretty quick actually. Oh, look at you. Good boy, Timber. So cute. What a trophy. And we weren't done with the trophies yet, as I got a second chance to actually loot a supply drop this time. This should get me a trophy. Oh crap, how long does it take to loot? Far out. Yoink! Loot a highwayman supply drop. Be careful, it won't be unguarded. I mean, there was literally only one dude going for it, that was pretty easy, I'm not gonna lie. Following that, I then went on to rescue my next gun for hire, which was Pastor Jerome, who is of course in Far Cry 5 as well. Now he's a little bit older, but he's still helping out the resistance. And where I liberated him from was where the Rise used to live, and this is where I found my first photograph location, and essentially all you have to do is line up the photo with the real world location. So it was pretty fun seeing a direct comparison of Far Cry 5 to what it looks like in Far Cry New Dawn. Alright, so moving on from all that exploration, I finally went on to complete the next main story mission, where we had to break Thomas Rush out of this mine encampment. And once we reach his position, we break out using this really cool motorbike with a turret on the back, which triggers an on-rails chase sequence. Then once we've taken out most of the enemies that are chasing after us, we drive Thomas Rush back to Prosperity. And once we're back in Prosperity, this is where he meets Kim and Carmina, and they convince him to help rebuild Prosperity and take on the Highwaymen. And so now that we have Thomas Rush a part of the community, we can now finally start to upgrade the facilities around Prosperity. And just like Far Cry Primal, there is a trophy for fully upgrading the home base. For now though, I of course didn't have the resources to do this, so instead I got a trophy for purchasing my first facility upgrade. Okay. Let's upgrade. Expeditions, level 1 out of 3. Home is where the part is. Upgrade Prosperity's infrastructure for the first time by investing in the right parts. And as you can see, my first upgrade was the Expeditions, which is a new addition to the Far Cry series. And so I decided to give the first one a go. Essentially what these expeditions are a separate level from the base open world. You fly in via a helicopter to these highwaymen outposts, and you have to steal the intel and resources before being extracted by the helicopter. And honestly, this was actually a pretty cool addition to the game, as it allows you to explore other areas of America that were affected by the nuclear fallout. It's cool to see the location being switched up from Hope County, but the levels are pretty simple, as you pretty much just head towards the pink smoke to reach the package that you have to steal, and you can either do this stealthy or go guns blazing. But once you've got the package, the enemies can locate you due to a GPS, so then you're pretty much just holding out until the helicopter arrives. And in this first expedition, I completely failed, as I tried to be really cool by jumping off the edge of the ship in a car to make my escape, but it went horribly wrong. Get in, Jerome. We're about to go flying off this ramp. Wait, that killed us? Oh, okay. Maybe that wasn't the smartest thing then. I thought that would have been cool, jumping into the water like that. Oh well. I guess not. Are you kidding? I have to restart the whole thing? Oh, that's crazy. So yeah, unfortunately I had to do the whole thing once again. And this time I didn't make the same mistake. Instead, I just used my wingsuit to get to the extraction point instead. And using the mounted gun nearby, I was able to hold off the rest of the enemies until the helicopter arrived. Time to get out. Yes, let's get out of here. HMS Makubre. Expeditious Retreat. Complete your first expedition to force the highwaymen out of a stronghold. Let's go. I actually didn't realize it was a trophy, but I should have probably known that. Of course, there are still a couple other trophies related to expeditions, but we'll get back to those later. Instead, I went for a really easy trophy for scavenging an outpost. And essentially what this does means that the highwaymen will take back control of the outpost, and they will be stronger. However, when you liberate it a second time, you will get more resources for doing so. Oh, it's the, okay, reduce, reuse, recycle, scavenge an outpost. You can always reclaim it. Okay, so they've taken it back over. So even though I'd already gotten the trophy, I still decided to go ahead and liberate it a second time. And unfortunately, I got spotted straight away. And because the enemies were a higher rank, I got very close to dying a couple of times. And because I was spotted straight away, they called in reinforcements, which is where I faced my first elite soldier. And so I was running around like a madman, trying not to die, constantly using medkits, which is when I got another trophy. Okay, how's it look, Doc? Craft 10 medkits, they'll definitely come in handy. Yes, they will. And the truck with the turret right in front of me also came in handy, as if I didn't have this, I don't think I would have been able to take down the elite soldier because they have heaps of health and I did not have the right weapons to take one of them on. Captain's courageous. Kill your first enforcer. I'm sure this will send the highwaymen a good message. Oh my god. Next tier reach. What is going on? You've increased your trophy level. 4. Skilled 1. Wait, what? What is going on? I think that's because... New trophy tier. I think that's because I hit 300. That's why. Oh my god. Level 300. That's so cool. I've literally gotten like... How many trophies have I just gotten in the last 5 minutes? There we go, finally I liberated the place. God damn. That was not good, I had the wrong weapons for that. Broken Forge liberated. For the second time. And literally only a couple minutes later after that, I decided to stock back up on plants so I could continue to craft more medkits after using pretty much all of them. And this got me another trophy. Aha, here's another one. Surely this is the trophy right here. Yes, Forager. Gather 15 plants growing in Hope County. It's the closest thing to a pharmacy we have nowadays. Let's go, another trophy. Rolling in the trophies right now. Following that, I headed back to Prosperity to upgrade it to level 2 now that I had enough ethanol to upgrade some more facilities. And in doing so, this triggered the next main story mission, where everyone in Prosperity is celebrating and having a good time until the twins show up to get their revenge after we save Thomas Rush. They give us a final ultimatum to get out of Prosperity before they come back to burn it down. Of course though, we are not abandoning our home, so we prepare for the attack and defend Prosperity. And so eventually, after waves and waves of highwaymen, we take them all out and defend Prosperity. Of course, the attack takes its toll on the people of Prosperity as many were killed or injured, so Thomas Rush suggests working with the people up in the north, known as New Eden. And obviously, if you've played Far Cry 5, you know exactly who he's talking about, but in this context, Thomas Rush and us as the captain have no idea who Joseph and New Eden are. Kim Rye is obviously very against this after what Joseph Seed caused all those years ago, but because we don't really have any other options, we decide to go ahead and meet with New Eden anyway, and this leads into part 2 of the game, New Alliances. Prospering. Upgrade and secure Prosperity. Following that, I did go back to completing some more side activities and exploring the world, and this is where I came across my first monstrous animal, which is the most elite version of certain animals. For example, this was a monstrous bison, and these things have heaps of health, and they almost kind of act like the same as a blood dragon in previous Far Cry games, as you have to hit their weak spots to deal the most damage, or else they are pretty much a bullet sponge. And at this point, my weapons were still only like rank 2, so it took a while to take this bison down. Yes, kill or be killed. Kill a monstrous animal. It'd do the same to you given half the chance. Let's go. Following that, I went to recruit our next specialist, which was Grace Armstrong, who is actually a gun for hire in Far Cry 5. Unfortunately, over the years since then though, she actually has lost her vision, so she can no longer be a gun for hire, but she is still really good at crafting weapons. And so for her quest, we tracked down a stolen weapon that the highwaymen took from her, along with some stolen materials. And once we return the materials to her, she actually allows us to keep the saw launcher, and she agrees to head back to Prosperity and become our weaponsmith. Buzzkill completed. A graceful return. Recover Grace's prototype gun and welcome her back to Prosperity for good. After that, I then went and did the side quest to recruit the gun for hire known as Nana, and she's actually very similar to Grace Armstrong from Far Cry 5, as she uses a sniper to take out enemies from afar, and she is probably one of the best guns for hire in this game. Not too long after that, continuing to explore, I found another outpost, and this is where I got another trophy done. Yes, bring a knife to a gunfight. Kill 25 enemies using any type of takedown. Put that railroad spike to good use. Hell yeah, dude. Before moving on with the game, this is where I decided to get the co-op trophy out of the way, as my friend Aesoppers was online and he was able to help me out with the trophy. Oh my god.
I've been summoned again.
What the hell? Firstly though, we actually didn't do the trophy. Because I was going for the in-game 100%, there is actually a challenge for completing an outpost with a friend, so we decided to knock that out of the way first. Oh, there's... Oh, yeah, nice.
Don't worry, bro. Whoa!
Alright,
I'm stuck in the car.
Let's go.
There we go.
I should get the challenge done.
Whoa.
Oh yeah!
God damn.
Broken Forge liberated.
Just got a new pair of gloves.
Outpost with a
Nice.
friend. Yep, liberate an outpost of any difficulty. Done. So
There we
now
go, bro. I'm fully stealthed up, ready to go
I
now.
just gotta do expedition with a friend. Ah yes. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I know that's a trophy. And very soon I would be getting that outfit myself, as you get it on one of the expeditions, but first we had to complete a few more before that. And at the end of the first expedition, my friend actually reminded me that I could get another easy trophy.
Oh boy, chopper.
Don't worry, they won't see us.
Oh yeah, that trophy's like.
Is there a
really
trophy for
big.
doing smoke grenade? Is that a
Yeah,
trophy?
use 3 smoke grenades, bro.
Oh, it is too.
You
Poof. Use 3 smoke grenades. Wait, yeah, I just got it. I didn't even. I think I saw that and I just forgot about it. Following that, we moved on to the next expedition, which was Alcatraz Island. And because these were only rank 1 expeditions, they were fairly easy, especially with 2 players, and plus my friend had already platinumed the game himself, so he had some of the best weapons in the game. And so before long, we were on to the 3rd and final expedition we needed to complete for me to get the trophy. And this expedition here, Government Plane Wreck, is where I would be able to get a trophy that is a reference to another Ubisoft game. So straight away we explored the level, and you can find the front of the plane here, and that is where you will get the trophy. When I headed inside, my friend had actually already opened up the secret compartment, but all you had to do was interact with this laptop here and it would open up the secret compartment upstairs and you can claim your new outfit. Oh my god, there it is. Take. Paladin's Secret. Find Sam Fisher's outfit in the Government Plane Wreck expedition. Hell yeah. Do I look the same as you, or do I have to put it on? I have to put it on.
You have to equip it.
That makes sense.
Bro was the goddamn deputy cut.
Sam Fisher. Now we're the same.
Let's go.
Obviously, this outfit and trophy is a reference to the Splinter Cell series, which I've never actually played myself, but the suit I feel like is pretty recognizable. And honestly, it's a pretty big W that you get it for free in this game, as it is definitely one of the cooler looking suits. And so with that being said, both me and my friend playing as Sam Fisher, we were able to get the final expedition completed.
Oh, it's here. Let's go.
This should be a trophy.
Oh yeah, true. 3. That's crazy.
Let's go. Bro, just looking at me with his Splinter Cell goggles. I'm just shooting directly at your face. Bro just turns to me and is like,
it's
huh.
daytime. Night vision on.
Yeah, you just
Tactical.
blind yourself. It's like getting flashbanged in this game as soon as you leave somewhere. Where's my trophy, bro? Come on.
Should be as soon as you spawn in. Don't worry, bro.
Come on. Yeah, have buddy will travel. What? Complete 3 expeditions.
Travel.
Complete 3 expeditions with a co-op partner. What does that even mean? Have buddy will travel.
Speaking Yoda.
Have buddy will travel.
Even if you speak normally, it doesn't make sense. Travel will have buddy. Like what?
Oh yeah.
If I have buddy, we travel we will. I don't even know.
Bro is yapping out of the bazooka.
Bro is hiding behind. I can just see your blue outline. Alright. Well, I appreciate your help. That is all the co-op
Bro,
stuff
my job.
out of the way.
My job here is done yet again.
I wish I could salute you. What's up?
Until we meet again.
See you again, buddy.
Now I can uninstall this
Wait.
game.
And now with the co-op out of the way, we can go back to completing the rest of the game. And so back to the main story, instead of going to New Eden just yet, we actually get another story mission where we meet this guy called Erwin, who works for the twins. But he's actually in debt to them at the moment, so he's looking for some help. And so to help him make money, we actually get thrown into the fighting pit, where all the highwaymen come to watch, and we have to win in order to win Erwin some money. So we fight our way through waves of enemies using only our bare hands or melee weapons, and during this section I ended up getting a surprise trophy. Shit, that was dumb. Oh, tip O the hat. Knock an enemy's helmet off with a charged melee attack. Have I not already done that? Ah, okay. Honestly, who doesn't love a good surprise trophy, so we take those, and before long I had finished off the pit challenge and won Erwin some money, and now he owed us, which would come in handy later on. Following that, I went to the next side mission, which was to recruit another Fang for Hire, and this was to recruit Horatio the Boar, which for some reason he has a trophy tied directly to him for completing his quest, which all it involves is just taking out nearby enemies with his help. Then I just had to pet him and he was officially recruited. Good boy. Who's a good boy? You are, Horatio. You are... Pet Horatio done. Yes, to love a boar completed. Trophy? Yeah, save your bacon. Recruit Horatio. Don't mind his temper, he can be pig-headed sometimes. Haha, that's so funny. Okay. After recruiting Horatio, I realized that I needed to start getting kills with all the different guns and Fangs for Hires, as these are challenges, very similar to how I was going for all the weapon challenges. So each time I got 15 kills with a new recruit, I just made sure to switch to the next one, so I would get them done naturally throughout the game. Following that, I continued to do more side activities. For example, I completed a treasure hunt here, which allowed me to earn more perk points, so then I could get the trophy for upgrading one perk 5 times. Alright, can we upgrade? We can upgrade shit. More lung capacity. How many times can we upgrade it? I'm pretty sure there's a trophy for doing it. 5 times? Yeah, stack them up. Purchase the 5th tier of a stackable perk. You can never have enough. I wonder what the max you can go to is. You can buy perk points? That's crazy. After getting that trophy, I started looking at some others I could complete, and one of them caught my eye, which was for getting 5 kills using a shield. Shields are only obtainable after killing an enemy that has a shield, then you can pick it up and use it. So it is very situational, but I did manage to get 3 kills at this outpost here, and the other 2 I would have to get later on. So instead, I actually went and recruited my next gun for hire, which was of course good old Herc Drubman Jr. What's up, Herc?
Do I know you from somewhere? I mean, you look dang familiar, like as if we've done this before in some endless hiding loop for which neither of us may ever escape. Huh.
Yeah, we have.
Well, no doubt you've probably heard of my legend, my many outlaw adventures, you know, both in and out of the boudoir. Well, all the stories you heard are true, including the one about me liberating a country with a bunch of monkeys I trained in the dark art of edge weaponry. But I forsake
Far Cry
life of
4.
fame and fortune and all its trappings to settle down. I fell in love with the woman of my dreams, man. We had a baby. It was a good life.
Wait,
man.
really?
A peaceful life.
So yeah, Herc is his good old charming self, and apparently he found the love of his life and even had a kid, which was kinda hard to believe. But the next specialist we had to recruit for Prosperity was actually Sharky Bowshaw, who used to be a gun for hire in Far Cry 5, just like Grace Armstrong, and is also Herc's cousin. And he is looking after Herc's baby at the moment.
And the only spot where my little shit kicker likes to sleep when he's cranky. He's up there in the bro's nest now. We call him Blade. Yeah, he's my cousin Herc's baby, but we're raising him together. I tell you what, though, he's a real chip off the old block, loves farts and the sound of gunfire. It's like swaddling to him.
But it turns out that Sharky Bowshaw is the only specialist in this game that does not have a trophy tied to him. The other 4 do, for some reason he just doesn't, which I was very confused about. Yes sir, sounds good to me. Now give me my trophy. Adventures in Babysitting, completed. Trophy? +1 specialist in Prosperity. Now surely that's a trophy, right? Isn't it? Wait, does he not get a trophy? What? Wow, okay. So, wait, what? So there wasn't a trophy for getting Sharky as a... Oh, so there's one for Nick Rye. So there was one for the other ones, but not Sharky? What? There was one for Grace. There was one for Selene, and there was one for Bean. Wow, so Sharky Bowshaw's the only specialist that doesn't have a trophy. That's crazy, okay. But that did mean I only had one more specialist to go, and that was Nick Rye. So it turns out he was captured by the twins, and they were forcing him to build cars and vehicles for them. And so we take down all the highwaymen, breaking him free from captivity, and then we head back to Prosperity using his plane, Carmina. But it's not in very good shape since Far Cry 5, as it is now missing its wings, so instead of being a plane, it is now actually just a boat, and a land vehicle as well. And surprisingly, there's actually a miscellaneous trophy tied to this plane. But the description is quite vague, as all it says is to take a short flight in the plane, which I thought I would have got here because you literally go flying off the edge of a broken railroad, but apparently that does not count. Instead, according to the guide, what you have to do is use a stick of dynamite to blow the plane sky high from the water, which I tried to do using these explosive barrels, and it did not work out well. Oh. Okay, that was not meant to go like that. God damn. I then actually tried it with a stick of dynamite, and it still did not work out. Like, does that count as a short flight? But it blew the whole plane up. Okay, I just need to finish the mission. What am I doing? And so because every time I died it kept putting me back where the plane spawned, I decided to just get the mission done and worry about this trophy later, as once you've completed the mission, you unlock the plane permanently. And so eventually the mission ends with us heading back to Prosperity, which is where we get a really nice reunion between the whole family.
You lose something, darling?
Yay!
Hey, baby.
Gonna make me cry, man.
I could always come back. No.
Let's go, family reunion.
Thank you.
Gonna make me cry, man. Let's go. And we get a trophy, the Rye Union. Reunite Nick Rye with Carmina and Kim. Let's go, and we've maxed out prosperity too with all the specialists. That's elite. And so that meant I was now finally able to upgrade prosperity to level 3. So I was definitely getting closer to maxing prosperity out, as I could now upgrade all the facilities to level 3 as well. And this meant I could also get the final perk, which I thought would get me a trophy, but I would come to find out later on that there were still 5 more perks that I would unlock through the story. So we continued to move, where I ended up unlocking the side quest to unlock the second last gun for hire, which was Gina Guerra, who is actually Herc's girlfriend. Which is actually a really cool callback. I don't think I have a clip of it, but I remember in the Lost on Mars DLC in Far Cry 5, Herc literally says that he thinks that all women with the name Gina are really hot, and so what do you know, he ends up falling in love and having a kid with a woman named Gina. Anyway, callback aside, now with her recruited, I moved on to continue exploring, which is where I actually ended up already completing my last treasure hunt. So that was one activity checked off our list. I then sort of liberated the final outpost on the map, but I would still have to complete all outposts on the 3 different difficulties for me to check it off the list and get the trophy. So I was actually making pretty good progress through the game, and whilst scavenging an outpost to get more ethanol, I ended up getting another trophy. Yes, it's super effective. Headshot an enforcer with piercing ammo. Okay, I was going for that. Following that, my game plan was to get this trophy out of the way, because according to the guide, this trophy would become a lot harder once you unlocked the new perks in the second act of the story. So I wanted to get it out of the way before it became an issue. So first thing I did was to grind to make my first legendary weapon with a bayonet on the front, as the trophy required an enforcer to be killed, which is the toughest enemy in the game. But before being able to craft it, I first actually had to get the workbench to level 3, and that is why I was scavenging those outposts so I could get enough ethanol to do this. But after that, I still didn't have enough duct tape or titanium to actually make the weapon. And so what I did was head to the cartography facility and purchase my first intel map, which was to show where all the duct tape stashes were on the map. I then proceeded to loot these duct tape places until eventually I had enough to actually craft the weapon. As for the titanium, it turns out I actually hadn't sold any of my animal skins up until this point, and both the black bear and grizzly bear skins both gave 40 titanium each. And this easily gave me enough titanium to finally craft my first elite weapon, the Radiation Pink AKMS. Legend has it. Craft your first legendary weapon or vehicle and start a legend of your own. Hell yeah. And this now meant I could finally try and get a bayonet finisher on an enforcer, and let's just say it took a bit of trial and error. Oh, here we go. No. No. What the hell? I just got sent flying. That was a fail. I didn't mean to... Oh wait, no, that was the enemy. Bro, I'm selling this right now. Oh, get to the point. Finish off an enforcer with a bayonet. Okay, that isn't how I thought it would go, but I thought I was meant to get like a finisher, but maybe because Horatio killed them. And well, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I think I was meant to get the animation here for the finisher, but Horatio hit them at the exact same time. So the trophy still popped as it counted as a bayonet finisher, but the actual animation didn't trigger. And you know what? I was happy to take it, but the funny thing is, later on in the game, when I was doing the cleanup for the actual in-game challenges, one of them was to get 5 bayonet finishes, and it turns out that even with the perk that you get in Chapter 2, well, it's still pretty easy to trigger these bayonet finishes, so I actually did this trophy for no reason at this point in the game, and I easily could have done it later on. I will say though, one good thing is that I now had a legendary weapon, meaning that I was pretty much ready to take on the rest of the game without any problems. And so, whilst I was here with plenty of confidence, I decided to go for the Pure Ninja Trophy for taking on a rank 3 outpost without being seen. Come on, this is gonna be it. Yes, come on, this is gonna be it. Yes, come on. Yes, 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 yes. This should be the last enemy, I hope. Maybe not. Oh, there, shit, okay. Have they seen the dead body? Uh-oh. Yes! That should be undetected, right? No one saw me. Is that a trophy? I don't know, maybe that's just a challenge, actually. Signal point, liberated undetected. Yes, sir. It is a trophy. Pure Ninja. Liberate a rank 3 outpost while staying undetected. Let's go. Absolute stealth pro. Now the rest of them I can just bloody loud and proud. Finally, after all that, I now went back to completing the main story missions. And so we arrive at the gate of New Eden, where we are met by this guy in this weird looking mask who turns us away. But then as we turn around, we get a vision of Joseph Seed himself. And he directs us to go where it all ended and where it all began. And so using a nearby boat, we head to Dutch's Island, which is of course where in Far Cry 5 it all began and it all ended. When we arrive at the island, everything seems to turn into a vision once again, where we have to explore around the island at 3 different points and solve a few puzzles so Joseph's seed will light up the cross. Once the cross is lit up, he then points us down a path which leads to Dutch's bunker. And once we're inside, we find Joseph Seed's book. Also, whilst we're down in the bunker, we get a lot of the game's lore through these notes, which kind of explains what happened to our character from Far Cry 5. Also, when leaving the bunker, I was reminded of Far Cry 5 because I got flashbanged once again. Holy jeez, every time I walk out that bunker, I get flashbanged. Every single time. Like, look at that. Oh my god. Once my eyes had properly readjusted, I went back to Eden's Gate, and this time, because we had Joseph's book, we were allowed inside. And once inside, we are taken to the village's leader, who is in fact not Joseph Seed. Instead, we are introduced to this guy here called Ethan. And honestly, he ain't actually too happy that we're here with the book, because apparently Joseph said whoever found the book would be the true ruler of Eden, and this Ethan guy thought that he would be the one, as he has been leading the village for the last couple of months, because apparently Joseph disappeared into the north. And then he drops a bombshell by saying 2 words, my father. Yes, apparently this dude is Ethan Seed, Joseph's long lost son. And it's never really explained in the game except for maybe a few notes, but according to the wiki, he was raised outside of Hope County, and then when the collapse happened, his mother died, but she told him to find his father, Joseph Seed, and so that's obviously how they met after the collapse, and Joseph would have raised him from then on. Lucky for us, Ethan is still willing to help us out, as he believes that Joseph has died whilst going north, and so he promises us that if we go north and prove that Joseph has died, meaning that the people will now have to follow Ethan as their leader, then he will help out Prosperity against the Highwaymen. However, before we can go north, we first have to prove ourselves to the people of New Eden, and to do so we head to where Joseph Seed's old statue used to be, and help New Eden liberate it back from the Highwaymen. Once we've taken out the Highwaymen, we also have to help them relight the sacred flame pit that they built underneath the statue in a cave. Once that is done, we head back to New Eden, where we are ready to head north to look for the father. Ethan then gives us some sort of special drink which will help protect us and allow us to actually enter into the north. The drink knocks us out, but once we wake up, we find ourselves actually in Joseph's old church, and from here we must take a boat into the north. And so as we enter the north, we are told that fire protects you from the bliss. And so as we're making our way to where Joseph is located, we have to light up fire pits to make sure that we're not taking damage from the Bliss. And honestly, this part isn't very hard other than having to figure out a few basic puzzles to open up the way, but eventually we make it to where Joseph is located. And by igniting the final fire beacon, it actually disperses all of the Bliss from the north. From there, we are able to enter into Joseph's sanctuary, and surprise, surprise, he's actually not dead. And so this is where we get a whole speech from him telling us that he has been waiting for us, and that is why he exiled himself into the north, as he was waiting for the true leader of New Eden. And he also tells us that he can't help us, but God can help us. So he takes us up to this really pretty looking tree, which is growing apples. And he tells us that this fruit is God's test to cleanse our soul. So we take a bite and Joseph tells us to kill the beast. From there we black out and we are taken inside our own mind, where it turns out the beast is just a monstrous bear. Also, don't ask me what that thing is on the floor. It is literally never explained in the game, and I'm very confused by this giant dead thing. Anyway, back to the boss fight. Honestly, it's not too hard. We are only able to use a bow, but as long as you keep your distance and hit the bear's weak points, it's pretty easy to take down. And by the end of the fight, we are actually given powers which allow us to do heaps of damage using our fists, and we use this to finish the bear off. After the boss fight, we have now officially cleansed our soul, and Joseph is ready to head back to New Eden. Ironically enough, when we get back, Ethan is actually already giving a speech to the people saying that Joseph is dead. Of course though, we crash that party. Ethan tries to sway the people to his side, proclaiming himself as the leader, but everyone stands behind the father. And so now with Joseph back in charge, he does promise to help us with fighting against the Highwaymen. After that cutscene, we talk with the father, who rewards us with some new perks, plus he also allows us to add the judge to our roster, who is that guy with the weird mask standing next to him. And spoiler alert, the judge is actually our character from Far Cry 5. So pretty much while they were down in Dutch's bunker together, Joseph somehow brainwashed our character into working for him, and pretty much became his right-hand man and head of security. So not gonna lie, it's pretty messed up, and it is very sad to hear that this is what happened to our character, especially after the events of Far Cry 5 and all we went through. But with that little bit of lore out of the way, I did manage to get a couple of trophies. Joseph's secret completed. Return to Eden. Bring the father back to New Eden. Hell yeah. Close for applications. Recruit all guns for hire. Oh, so the judge, oh yeah, he's on our roster. Just like that. Our old character from from Far Cry 5, is now the judge.
Teaming up with Joseph C. don't make no kind of sense, okay? Unless your plan is to bore the highwaymen to death with sermons.
You're saying that right in front of his face, lol. New challenges acquired. Using the ghost. Using the wrath. Is this like the new perks we can... Ah. Leap of faith. Press X while in midair for additional jump height. What? That's kind of cracked.
You have come here to help your people.
We literally got a double jump in Far Cry. That's crazy. Hold circle to temporarily become much harder to detect by humans. Consumes Eden's gift. Okay, so you become pretty much invisible. Wrath. Hold to temporarily increase speed, melee damage, reduce damage taken, be immune to knockdowns. Consumes Eden's gift. Okay. Oh my god. Takedowns replenish Eden's gift and health and loot victims automatically. Yes, please. And increases the regeneration rate of Eden's gift. This should be a trophy too. Yes, Percolate. Percolate. Unlock the first level for all perks. Heck yeah. Okay, following all that, we then go back to Prosperity, where Kim is glad to see us, but unfortunately she has bad news. Thomas Rush went out to scout and he never came back. So we head out to look for him, and this is when the twins call telling us that they have him plus some other people of Prosperity held hostage. So we head to the nearby fertilizer plant so we can save all the hostages. And after a few fails, I eventually was able to save all of the hostages before the timer ran out. With everyone else saved though, the twins instruct us to stash our weapons before heading inside to save Rush. And for good measure, the twins even tell us to handcuff ourselves so we don't try anything. Turns out this was a bad idea, as what happened next completely shocked me.
I wanted you to understand that. I wanted you to see that things could have ended differently if you just listened to us and went away. Instead, you chose the stick. Here it is.
What the fuck? What the hell? I didn't expect that. That's crazy. Oh my god. That is brutal.
Because you thought there was a hope for your future? There's no hope for you. No future. Idiot.
Oh. Yes, use wrath. And no way we survived that. We literally just took a shotgun to the bloody intermission. What? Yep, after that crazy cutscene, we get an intermission which shows us the backstory of Mickey and Lou, and I can't lie, it is pretty sad, but it's a crazy switch up to go from what they just did to trying to give them a sob backstory. Anyway, after that we enter into part 3, Deep Cover. So we are then shown Mickey and Lou discussing that they're going to head up to New Eden to ask a few questions after seeing us use our powers like that. As for us, well, it turns out we're still somehow alive even after taking a shotgun blast straight to the chest and falling out of a 3-story window. It then cuts back to Prosperity where we are having a funeral for Thomas Rush. Here, Kim approaches us and tells us that she has a plan to get our revenge. And so when we go talk to her, she suggests that we use Erwin, the highwayman that we helped earlier in the game at the fight pit. Well, he owes us, so we can use him to get close to the twins. So we go and meet up with him, and turns out that he already has a plan ready to go because him and the twins aren't really on good terms at the moment. And so his plan involves heading to the prison undercover and taking out the warden called Frank. So we dress up as a prisoner and Erwin takes us inside. So once we're inside the old Hope County prison, which was actually one of the main locations in Far Cry 5, it turns out that they've turned it into a bullet farm and they're using the prisoners to make bullets. So of course we have to blend in and actually assemble bullets for a bit until we see a sneak peek of the twins in the prison. And so we are able to eavesdrop on their conversation, and it turns out that they are going to meet someone of importance. But before we hear anything more, they end up walking off and we get a break and head off into the prison courtyard. And once we're in the yard, we are able to sneak around to find a way to kill Frank. And this involves finding keys to actually get back inside to head up to the rooftop. Unfortunately, I ended up getting spotted here, so I couldn't sneak around, and in the end, I actually ended up dying. But surprisingly, this actually worked in my favor because when I respawned at the checkpoint, I already had the keys and I was back in stealth mode, so I could easily sneak inside. When I got back inside, I found a guard who had a shield, and I thought this would be the perfect time to get the final shield kill I needed for a trophy. Perfect. Yes, good job, Cap. Kill 5 enemies by throwing a shield at them. Let's go. But how did that first one miss? Now they're alerted. God damn it. In the end, I actually just ended up purposely dying so that I could respawn and do it stealthy. And so this time I made it up to the roof with no problems. And I was able to take down Frank the Warden. And the reason we took him out was so that we could take his racing gear. And once we collected that, we could sneak back to Erwin and he would drive us out of the prison. And so this is where the second part of the plan comes in, as using Frank's gear, we are able to replace him in the Highwaymen Racing Derby. Because once we eliminate all our opponents, the winner of the race gets to meet the leaders of all the Highwaymen, including the twins. And because we have our helmet on, they obviously won't recognize us. The only thing is, we have to wait until Erwin has placed a gun outside of the tent before we can head outside, grab it, and kill the twins. However, as we're waiting for that to happen, it turns out that the important person they mentioned at the prison was actually Ethan Seed, as he has come to the Highwaymen to get their help in taking out his father, as he is annoyed that he is no longer the leader of New Eden. And in doing so, he will also share the sacred fruit with the Highwaymen, the one that gave us our powers. And so before we are able to do anything, they head off to burn New Eden to the ground. And so in order to catch up with them, we actually head outside and grab the gun that Erwin placed in the toilet and use that to take out the other Highwaymen leaders. After taking them out, it turns out that there is a car in the back room and we use that to head to New Eden. But when we arrive, it turns out we are already too late, as the village is already being burnt to the ground and there have been many casualties. And then this is when we come face to face with the twins, which of course triggers a boss fight against them. And not gonna lie, this boss fight is not good. It's very similar to Far Cry Primal, where the twins are literally just bullet sponges. There's nothing unique about them other than one of them snipes and the other has a flamethrower. In order to kill them, you literally just have to keep damaging them until they're dead. Just shut up and die.
To die first. I'm the oldest. I go first. God damn it. I was supposed to take care of you. I was supposed to take care of you and I didn't, and I am so fucking sorry. I fucked this up, man.
Problem solver. Problem solver. Solve the biggest problem in Hope County by defeating the twins. So in the end, we ended up killing Lou, but Mickey is still alive, and you actually do get the option to finish her off here, but I actually decided to keep her alive. Because, well, honestly, I don't have a good reason. It's just in Far Cry 4, whenever I had a choice, I always kept them alive, so I may as well keep the streak going. And I actually kind of felt sorry for her. And she also promised that she would leave Hope County and never come back. So following that, all I had to do was head north, as Ethan had taken Joseph to where the sacred fruit was. And when we arrive, Joseph is pleading with Ethan not to eat the fruit, but he still does anyway. And just as Joseph predicted, after some transformation grunts, Ethan ends up becoming affected by the fruit and Joseph tells us to chase after him. And after following Ethan for a while, we end up arriving at a cave where his full transformation is revealed, and it turns out he's some sort of shadow yeti monster, as his inner demons have taken over his body. And once again, this is really not a good boss fight, because he is literally just a massive bullet sponge with the most health out of any enemy in the game, with the best way to defeat him being to shoot his weak points, just like the monstrous animals in this game. He does throw projectiles to spice things up, but the best way to avoid him is literally just double jumping around the arena. Of course though, after 5 minutes of grinding this boss fight out, the worst possible thing happened. What? Are you kidding me? That killed me? No, don't tell me I have to restart the whole boss fight now. I was so close. How did that kill me? No way I have to restart the whole boss fight. That is crazy. Yeah, so unfortunately I had to do the whole boss fight once again. But luckily I was able to get it on my second go. This time I was a bit more careful about the projectiles and made sure that I had plenty of health. And in the end, I completed the final boss of the game and finished New Dawn's story. Yes, Ethan's soul completed.
Ethan? No. Father? Father? I'm sorry. Can you forgive me?
Damn. Bro dead.
Oh, my son. His only fault was that he was mine.
Intermission. Ethan. Years ago.
Why can't I have one?
This gift can be dangerous. And I don't want you getting hurt, Ethan. This is not God's plan. You understand me, son?
You're an old man. And when you die, I will take one.
Should have listened to your father, buddy.
I thought I understood God's plan. I thought he wanted me to build a new Eden. But I am not his shepherd. You are. My soul has become a cancer. I am a monster. And I have only spread suffering and death in the name of God.
Damn, he's only just realized this.
It's all ash. Eden is dust. And there is no redemption for this. No atonement.
Damn. Wait, so we're gonna shoot it?
There is only the justice of God's hand. In this vicious cycle, give me God's justice. Release me.
Wait, so can we just like not do it, or
Release me.
should I do it? Oh, shit, I was thinking about it, bro, I was thinking about it.
Release me! Release me!
I mean, I was tempted to kill him, but it didn't give me very much time. Oh well. Wait, so can we still kill him now? Oh damn, bro's body is just burnt already. You know what, you can live with your sins, bro. You can live with your sins. You caused this yourself. You can live with your sins, brother. Alright, let's end this story, eh? I'm sorry, Rush. We took out the highwaymen, though.
Look at what we've built together. How far we've come. There's always going to be trouble out there, but we'll manage, right? There were so many times that I thought we were going to fail. That all of this would be for nothing. But we just didn't give up. Because we had hope. Here's to hope.
Here's to hope. That's the end of the game, really? Is there like a epilogue? The world is yours. Okay, so it's just saying we can free roam. Fantastic. The end of Eden. Decide the fate of the father. So there you have it, the story of Far Cry New Dawn was complete. Afterwards, I did head back to Joseph's sanctuary to see what happened to him, but he was actually gone without a trace, so
I guess we'll never know.
Whereas Mickey, on the other hand, when I went back to New Eden, she had actually left her Highwayman helmet behind, and also a note telling us that she had gone looking for her mum and given up the Highwayman life. And so with the story wrapped up, I now had a lot of cleanup left to do. And so essentially my game plan was to finish off everything from bottom to top. For example, the first thing I did was to explore the rest of the map, by looting all the remaining locations and finding the remaining collectibles as well. So I bought the intel maps from Wikipedia, which showed me where everything was on the map, and then chucked on a YouTube video and finished the rest of the locations off. I also made sure to have Timber as my ally because he is able to ping materials through walls, so this made finding the rest of the materials a lot easier at each location. And then anytime I was near a collectible, I also went out of my way to get it done. And so after like an hour of grinding out the rest of the map, I was up to the final music player. There we go, our final music player. This should be a trophy. This should be a trophy. Audio file. There we go. I was gonna say, yes, audio file. Rediscover some sweet tunes for the new world. Find all hidden MP3 players. Let's go. Music aficionado. It's another challenge done. Following that, I was nearing an end to this exploration journey, where I came across a pretty cool reference to Guy Marvel from Far Cry 5, in which you can find this house here where he has a bunch of his movie posters up on the wall, including some Blood Dragon eggs. I just thought this was a really cool Easter egg referencing Far Cry 5, Blood Dragon, and the DLCs as well. Moving on though, only about 5 minutes later, I came across the final photograph location. And here it is. There's that stupid church. A 1,000 words before. Find all the deer photograph locations and see Hope County as it used to be. Awesome. Challenge completed, time lapse. Let's go. Following that, I had a few more locations to go, and once I had completed those, I had officially looted all 101 locations in the game and found all the collectibles. And so this is when I moved on to finishing the challenges next. For the challenges, the first thing I had to do was finish off the weapon challenges by getting a certain amount of kills with each type of weapon. And I thought after looting every single location, I would have enough materials to craft the rest of the weapons I needed. But I had already run out of duct tape after crafting only a couple of weapons when I still needed more. And for some reason, me being stupid, I thought the best way to grind out duct tape would be to kill bisons and sell their skin. Well, I quickly realized that this method would take too long, as hunting animals in this game can be very hit or miss, and it can take a while for the animals to spawn in. So I was getting kinda worried because I wasn't sure how I was going to craft all these weapons I needed, but then I realized my dumbass had forgotten that expeditions give a bunch of materials, and I would have to complete all the expeditions for a trophy anyway, so I may as well get started on them to get the rest of the materials, and then once I crafted the weapons, I could use the expeditions to get those weapons kills. Also, there were a few miscellaneous trophies I could knock out of the way whilst going for these weapon kills as well. For example, I had to kill 10 brawlers with a saw launcher. Oh, buzzkill. Kill 10 brawlers with any saw launcher, they never saw it coming. Okay, so brawlers are the dudes with shields, so... Did one of these guys have a shield? Bruh. I reckon that guy must have had a shield. Oh well, I mean I'll take the trophy anyway, I've been trying to kill the shield guys with the saw launcher anyway. Later on, I'd also been able to craft one of the best bows in the game, so I decided to go for the trophy for killing an enemy more than 100 meters away with a basic arrow. Do you reckon that's 100 meters? Oh shit, it's more like 120. Oh shit. How am I not hitting him? No, I need y'all to stay still. Stop moving. Stop moving, bro. Yes! Archery expert. Kill an enemy more than 100 meters away with a basic arrow. Let's go. That was like 120 meters. To switch things up, I also decided to start doing some of the outposts in between expeditions. And here I was able to perform an aerial takedown using the Leap of Faith. Surely people understand that. Oh, wait, trophy? I just did it on accident, I think. Yeah, hey father, watch this. Perform an aerial takedown after using Leap of Faith. I forgot about that trophy. I was just randomly jumping over to fight someone and I landed on top of him. Also, whilst going for the outpost, I was trying to get the guns for hire kill challenges done, so I ended up upgrading the training camp to level 3 to make my allies as strong as they could, so they could get the kills easier. And before long, I was up to the final ally, the Judge, and funnily enough, despite how good we were in Far Cry 5, the Judge is probably one of the worst allies as it's so hard to get kills with him, but in the end I got it done and all the ally challenges were complete. And then after a little bit more grinding, I completed the final weapon challenge as well. I then just had to finish off the final few miscellaneous kills challenges as well, and none of these were that hard as you only required about 5 kills for each, and I was able to complete them really quickly. I then also completed one of the 2 final exploration challenges as well, which was for scavenging 2 tier 3 outposts. Before finishing the final exploration challenge, I decided to get off and have a break before getting on the next day. And if you remember earlier in the video when I was talking about the FPS, and that something crazy happened later on, well this is that moment. It turns out Far Cry New Dawn had an update. That's right, as I was playing the game, they finally got around to giving the game a 60 FPS update for the PS5 and Xbox Series X. I honestly could not believe my luck and this coincidence. What's the bet that 5 years after this game came out, I just happened to be playing it and that's when they finally gave it a 60 FPS update. And as soon as I started playing, I noticed the difference in quality. I just wish this had happened sooner so I could have played through the whole story in 60 FPS. Oh my god, the difference is insane. Holy, it feels so much cleaner. Oh my god, the movement just feels... wow. I can't believe they updated it as I'm playing the game. That's actually wild. Just from these 2 clips alone, you can easily tell the difference between the 30 FPS and 60 FPS update. Like I said, I was super excited for this to happen. I just wish it had happened before I started playing the game. Anyways, enjoy the rest of the game footage in actual 60 FPS, like I did. And with that being said, I did finish the final exploration challenge for completing 2 expeditions on the rank 3 difficulty. So now the only challenges I had left were the hunting and fishing ones, and I had to do these for trophies anyway. So the first thing I did was buy all the Wikibeania maps for the animals so I could see where they were on the map. And then I just had to hunt the animals that I hadn't already completed the challenge. And up until this point in the game, I actually had completed majority of the animals already, so this last grind was pretty easy. The only animals I really hadn't done were some of the monstrous ones, because you sort of had to go out of your way in order to find the hunting grounds. In the end, I just had the monstrous bear left, but something unexpected happened. Yes. Wait, oh. No, it was damaged. No, the skin was damaged so I didn't get the trophy. Are you kidding? Wait, unless I haven't skinned another animal, but... you have to loot them. It's because the skin was damaged. Oh, I'm so stupid. So I thought the trophy didn't pop because when the bear died, it died to fire, which caused the skin to become damaged. So I thought that meant it didn't technically count as me skinning the animal. So I airdropped back in to reset the location and fought the bear again, this time making sure it didn't die to any explosives or fire. Okay, this should be a trophy as soon as I loot this. Maybe not. Why has the trophy not popped? Wait, what? I've done every single hunting challenge though. Collect at least 1 skin from every type of animal in Hope County. What haven't I looted? Ah, shit. No. So I started stressing here as I thought I would have to go back through every animal trying to figure out the one that I didn't actually skin, even though all the challenges had been done and I had looted them all. But luckily, after doing some research and looking at the guide, it turns out that there is one animal that does not count as a challenge, but you still have to loot it for the trophy, and that was a good old cow. And because the cows don't spawn naturally in the wild, luckily the first expedition contains cows that are pretty easy to find at the start of the level, and I was able to loot one of them to get the trophy. So maybe if I loot these guys? Yes, Master Skinner! Collect at least one skin from every type of animal in Hope County. Not creepy at all. Let's go. Let's go. I just had to get cattle. Goddamn cattle. Like, they don't even come up in the challenges, bro. Like, they weren't even an option. Now, I of course just had to do the same for the fish. So I headed back to Wikipedia, bought all the fish maps, and started my journey. And to be honest, this only took like 10 minutes. The fishing in this game is so easy, and I only had to catch like 6 fish to get it done. For some reason though, to complete all of the fishing challenges, there were only 4 fish, but you needed to catch 6 for the trophy, so I actually got all the challenges done earlier than I expected. So following the completion of all the challenges, I just caught the 2 remaining fish and got the trophy. Boom, you're a catch. Successfully catch one of every type of fish in Hope County. Get those omega-3s. Yes. Let's go. Now I've done every single challenge. Weapons, exploration, kills, hunting and fishing all done. If I go to the map, 105 out of 105 challenges. So now I've just got to do the last 10 outposts and the last 5 expeditions, and I have 100% of the game. Awesome. So whilst I was working towards completing the rest of the outposts and expeditions, I decided to get the final few miscellaneous trophies out of the way. And so the first one was for taking a flight in Nick Rye's plane, which as I mentioned earlier, I had to use dynamite to get done. So what we're going to do, we're going to gain some speed. We're going to throw a bit of dynamite out in front of us, and it should blow up. Oh, okay. Almost. Let's try that again. Holy... Fly, you fools! Oh my god, no wings mean less drag, right? Take a short flight in the wingless plane. Holy, I did not expect us to go that high. God damn. Now we've sunk the plane. Next up, I went for the trophy for eliminating 10 enemies with a single activation of Wrath, which I just went to an outpost I was completing and tried to get it done there. And in the end, it actually took me a few attempts because I kept running out of Wrath as more enemies were arriving at the outpost. So I just kept resetting and trying again. I probably could have chosen a better outpost to do this trophy at because there wasn't 10 enemies at this outpost, so what I was doing was letting one of them call in reinforcements so more enemies would arrive so I could get it done, but of course my Wrath kept running out. So the best thing I could come up with was to allow them to call in more reinforcements, and then I would run around the map for a bit, making sure to tag where each enemy was, so then when I activated Wrath, I knew exactly where to go to kill the next enemy, and then eventually the reinforcements would arrive and I would just have enough time to get the trophy. Yes, come on. Get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the car. Yes, anger management. Oh my god, eliminate 10 enemies within a single activation of Wrath. Finally. That should not have taken that long. Following that, I got the other Eden gift related trophy for surviving a fall of 30 meters using the Leap of Faith. If I just head back here and I do airdrop, it'll spawn me in at least 30 meters in the air, probably more like 100 meters in the air. So you can see how high up we are. we're going to do is just before we hit the ground, I'm going to jump. Like that. Springboard. Survive a 30-meter fall using only leap of faith to nullify the impact. That was so easy. I could have done that ages ago, really. Now with those trophies out of the way, literally all I had to do was 100% the game by completing the rest of the expeditions and outposts. And honestly, there's not much to say here. I had the best weapons in the game at this point, so none of this was really that difficult. And you know, this is where I could experiment and have fun with the game. I could either go in stealthy or go in guns a-blazing. It didn't really matter, I was going to get these done no matter what. And so before long, I was extracting from my final expedition. Let's go! Come on, trophy. Where's my trophy at, man? Come on. Come on. Trophy time. Hurry up and come on, man. Yes, hit the road. Complete 7 unique expeditions on the rank 3 difficulty. Let's go. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more. And once again, following that, all I had to do is scavenge the rest of the outposts until they were done on all 3 difficulties, and I was officially complete with this grind. Holy Jesus. Okay, we did it. Oh my god. Got smoked. Can't see anything right now. We pretty much did it undetected except for the final enemy. Let's go. The island's liberated. No alarms. Just give me my trophy now, please. Yes, all your bases are ours. All your bases. Liberate all outposts at least once on rank 3. All your bases belong to us. That's what it is. I think that's what it's referencing.
All your bases belong to us.
Okay, well, speaking of, that means I've officially 100% of the game too. General progression, 22 out of 22. Side missions, 8 out of 8. Outposts, 30 out of 30. Treasure hunts, 10 out of 10. Expeditions, 21 out of 21. Specialists, 5 out of 5. Guns for hire, 8 out of 8. Perks, 30 out of 30. Challenges, 105 out of 105. Photographs, 9 out of 9. Music plays, 10 out of 10. And locations looted, 101 out of 101. Let's go. Just got one final trophy left to do. And that final trophy was to fully upgrade Prosperity. Because I had been scavenging all of the outposts, I had built up plenty of ethanol to purchase the final upgrade. And all I gotta do is upgrade the infirmary, I believe. And I have already maxed out every other thing, minus the infirmary, which is probably the most useful one, because it would have given me more health to do these missions, but it is what it is. Let's get this platinum. Alright, let's upgrade. And let's get the trophy. Infirmary level 3 out of 3. My little fortress. Make Prosperity better than ever. Build all infrastructure upgrades available. 100%, that means... Yes! Conqueror. Earn all trophies in Far Cry New Dawn. Let's go! Let's go. I actually did not mind this game. It is not too bad. I thought it would have been worse based on what I've heard, but it was decent. I mean, definitely short, but, and I mean, the abilities, I don't know, the story was a bit weird, but I don't know, I enjoyed it. The gameplay was fun. Very similar to 5, but I guess you could say it's a DLC, but I feel like it's bigger than DLC. So there you have it, Far Cry New Dawn is done. And for those wondering, it took me 30 hours to get the platinum and the in-game 100%. So other than Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, this has been the quickest Far Cry platinum thus far. And as I was saying in the clip, I did enjoy this game for the most part. The story was honestly a bit weird and the ending I wasn't too sure of. But the gameplay was definitely fun, and I didn't mind the RPG changes that they made. I understand why people call this a DLC to Far Cry 5, but I feel like it's kind of more like a Spider-Man Miles Morales situation, where it does use a similar map to the previous game, but they definitely changed enough for it to be its own standalone thing. Overall though, I probably would say this has been the weakest Far Cry experience so far, minus the original classic games, because they're just a bit old at this point. But out of the modern day Far Cry games, this is probably the worst one. But you know what? I still had fun, I still had a good time, and I'm glad I played it. And so I'm very much looking forward to how good Far Cry 6 is going to be. So with all that being said, thank you so much if you made it this far in the video. Once again, it's another long one. I don't plan for these to be so long, but they kind of just end up being this way because I like to cover a lot of the content in the game. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and all that good stuff. And for this video, I would like to see everyone comment down below if you made it this far. Release me!
Release me! Release me!
Okay, thank you once again. Hope you all have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
I can hear the demons call when they do what they do, and now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through, cause I feel like